Going to do some sleepers and Emory. Going to start with you because Rick and I did sleepers who were at the combine. You're going to do sleepers who might even be on this continent. I don't know where they're from. Give us your guy and let's talk about him.
Well, Alonzo Gilliam is the all-time leading rusher at UC Davis, right? And he's tailor-made for today's game. He's quick in everything he does, from his footwork, from his decision-making when he's on the move, and from his ability to make guys miss in the open field. So he's super elusive. He doesn't need volume to be successful. He's a downfield threat in the passing game. So you think in terms of someone like Austin Eckler, he's kind of that type of ability. And again, to rush for that many yards, over 4,500 yards, in his UC Davis career. Dan Hawkins is the head coach out there at UC Davis. Really strong program, over 5.5 yards a carry. So he's toting the rock in the Big Sky Conference, which is kind of like the Mountain West Conference of the FCS. He was super productive. He had 2 big games against Cal in back-to-back years. So this is someone that will find his way on an NFL roster and has all the ability to stick in the league for a long time.
So that UC Davis had their pro day. I didn't find any pro day results for him. I don't know if you have any off the top of your head. You have a comp for him? You mentioned Austin Eckler there.
That's about where I'm going to compare him to. The only difference is, he's a legit liability in pass pro, as most running backs are. Nobody wants to get run over. But he's a smaller guy. He's 5'9", 185. But man, when I say this guy has the explosiveness, the speed, the agility, he's going to be one of those guys that the training camp stories will come out. He's going to wow in the preseason. He's going to end up on a roster.
And you think he's probably undrafted, or is there a possibility he gets drafted?
Depending on how the draft goes, I'm going to err on the side of caution and say he's going to be a priority free agent.
Okay. So, Rick, let me ask you, what are you looking at when you're trying to compare the FCS? We've talked about this with other positions, FCS running backs to Power 5 guys when they're not going up against that competition day in and day out.
Yeah, well, you can still see their quickness, their ability to drop their weight, the pad level, what they run, their contact balance, their speed in the open field, especially against guys that may not equate to SEC competition. You can see how he catches the ball out of the backfield with his hands. So if he goes out there at his pro day, and maybe they didn't have their pro day yet or not, and performs well and puts up some very good numbers, because in order to catch a team's attention, he probably did that from what Emory had said on the tape. But if he goes out to his pro day and runs a 4.7, he's going to be a dud. But if he runs fast, then they're going to be on someone's radar. And these were the type of guys that didn't show up at the combine, that our scouts identified out there, that, we would bring in on a visit to our facility, and knew that we weren't going to draft him, or maybe we were going to draft him in the 7th round. And if we were going to consider him late, we wanted to make sure we had a physical on him. And I won't mention a player. We did something similar, but we didn't bring him in, brought him, signed him to a contract, even though we didn't have a physical on him, and found out when he came in for rookie minicamp that he had leukemia. So he didn't even know he had it. So we had to, we let him keep a signing bonus. We try to help him get to where he needed to go to get the help he needed. But that's why these type of guys that I call them rat hole players, the scouts kind of stuff them in a back pocket. And when they bring them out of the rat hole, they'll bring them out at the end. We had our analytics delve into their numbers as well, not only their statistical information, which they performed at during the season, but also once we got the height, weight, speed, and all that other stuff, we would put that. And a lot of these type of guys would rise, because we'd have 3,000 Emory Hunts on our draft board below getting drafted, but which ones pop up? So this guy was productive. Our scouts liked him from what they seen on tape. Analytics pinged him to bring him to the top. So then we would have a coach look at him. And if we really liked him, we'd bring him in as one of our pre-draft visits and then recruit the hell out of him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so UC Davis did have their pro day. I'm not seeing any results for him. There's results for a couple players, so I don't know if it just hasn't been filled in yet or not, but we'll keep it on that to see, because as you point out, a 4.4 versus a 4.7 could be a big difference in terms of where he's drafted or where he's signed. All right, Rick, your guy, Eric Gray out of Oklahoma. You've been on him for a while. He was at the combine. He came in at 5'9.5", 210 pounds. And He didn't run a 40, but he plays plenty fast. What do you like about Eric Gray?
Yeah, I love his vision. I love his ability to make inline cuts. I love his contact balance. He's a violent runner, always going forward. He'll lower his shoulder through contact. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Really didn't jump out much down at the Senior Bowl, but he was down there at the Senior Bowl as well. But when you watch the tape, this guy is just fun to watch on tape. So I'm not going to, if he runs fast, I think he's going to get drafted on Friday, in my opinion. I really like how this player competes on tape. And so that's my comparison to him came up with yesterday was Tiki Barber.
Oh, yeah. You went old school on that one.
Yeah.
So here's the problem, though, Rick. Only one person on planet Earth can tell you whether that fits. And we got Emory on the show. So, Emory, what do you think about the Tiki Eric Gray comparison?
Listen, I love it because I was a big ACC fan coming up, watching him and Warwick Dunn and then Thomas Jones after Tiki run the football. That's a good comparison. I went with Chase Edmonds for Gray, but I could see that Tiki Barber, comparison because they both have that fluid style. They're both about the same size. They both have that burst and elusiveness in the open field. I'm a big Gray fan. He's actually my RB6 in this class.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. He's my RB10. How you like that? I had him going early Saturday, but we haven't seen him run yet. So top of the fourth, I think you're okay with that, Rick. If he runs faster, I'll change it.
Yeah. Hey, Emory, this is the cue. Devo just got on that. Even though he has him at number 10, you have to tell Ryan Wilson how much you appreciate all the hard work he puts in this. And I have the utmost respect for his opinions. I'll send you a copy of this.
Yeah, email it to Emory because Emory, you got to read it at the end of the show. That's the rules.
Make sure you guys get a
Man, are you kidding me? That's $1 bet, Debo.
Thank you, Rick. I needed that boost. All right, here we go. Evan Hull is my guy at Northwestern, and he came into the All-Star season, Rick, as a guy that we liked but didn't really wow us. He had to do a whole lot at Northwestern. They weren't a very good football team. But he came in, had a good Senior Bowl, ran really hard, and then he got to the combine. My man ran a 4.47. He's 5'10" and 214. And I took a lot away from that Senior Bowl. It sort of changed my opinion. I liked him. I didn't love him after coming into the Senior Bowl. After the Senior Bowl, I really had a soft spot for him. My comp for him, only because he ran so well, was Ryan Matthews, going old school a little bit too. I don't think he plays that fast, but again, he was asked to do so much. At Northwestern, he is my running back 13. Emory, I don't know where you got him.
It's funny. He was right underneath Alonzo Gilliam in the first line. His areas of improvement was lacks the explosiveness or speed to turn an NFL corner.
He didn't play that fast. That's right. I think that's right. And Rick, do you have any thoughts on Evan? Because I know you liked him for his toughness when we talked at the Senior Bowl. I don't know.
Yeah, he caught the ball well out of the backfield. I think he had one game with plus double-digit catches. That was the only offense they really had. I would describe him as a rolling ball of butcher knives.
That's a good one.
So
a Dolomite reference.
But I'll put that $1 bet out there that since you like him, that Gray will go before your guy Hall.
All right, yeah, make that one, Debo. That's a good one. I could see. I just got to hope that. Actually, I don't want to say out loud. I don't want Eric Gray to run a 4.8, but if he runs 4.8, I'm going to win the bet. I hope Eric Gray runs a 4.4.